a month since my last video. There's a lot going on. Let's cover what's changed in keyframeless over the last month and a bit. So there's a brand new plugin called Mirage. I got rid of Rounded, I got rid of Glow, I got rid of Magic Move. They all live in Mirage. That's how powerful it is. Let's take a look at it. So let me open up Constants. So as you can see, it didn't actually open where it normally would next to this popover. It's no longer a popover, it's a panel. You can move it around, you can resize it whatever size you need, and it'll remember that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Simple. If you want mini viewer, you can press V. Mini viewer is back for that crisp zoomness, double click to reset, all that good stuff. So what's new with this? Well, this is a great plugin. It's got lots of different templates I've created. So let's cover Magic Move. Magic Move is one of these first templates you can see. It comes pre-installed, so you're all good to go. Before I move on with this, you can just download the trial of this at keyframeless.com. Try it out, break it, do whatever you want. See if you like it, see if you don't like it. And yeah, just have a play around. If you break it, whatever. Just start a new project, delete the effect. Anyway, let's get back into this. So we've got Magic Move. It's in this plugin now as a template. All of this is code. I'm not expecting you to write code, but just to show you how powerful it is, Magic Move, that was previously a separate plugin, is now just a template in Mirage. We've got Frame as well, so that's where Rounded disappeared to, and where Glow went to as well. So here we go. I've added a couple of new things, such as border color, and I can just keep adding these as well. So let's have a look at border, for example. Let's have Glow, and you can have the usual Glow pickup along with the bloom that you would normally have as well, where you can mess around with the threshold, have different things glowing a little bit and blooming. Very nice. So those four plugins, they've been merged into shaders. So this is now in Mirage as 2 templates. There's also color transform if you need it. We'll cover that in a second. Now I don't want to go too in depth. I want to do a lot of tutorials around this. Instead of doing a new release and more features, I'm going to do more tutorials. So let's get into it. What can we do with this plugin? There's loads of templates. So let's start with Aurora. So this is just a generator. As you can see, it moves over time. And the beautiful thing about this is if we go to motion, we can have different seed. So basically it looks different all the time. Procedurally generated, different colors. You can have beautiful backgrounds for your video. This is kind of where the tool started. I was just made like 10 templates of just these backgrounds, and I thought, what am I doing? I can make this so much more powerful. I can have my own on-screen controls that you guys can use and make your own templates. You can integrate into the timing engine as well. So you can make your own templates and your own plugins, basically. I'll show you that in a minute. What else can you do with this? So that's generators. There's a bunch of different ones. There's infrared. There's these grid hills, like these. They just move over time. So that's one step of it. The other thing is filters. So you know the usual color filters, CRT, whatever you want. So let's have a look at CRT, for example. Again, you can tweak all this, add noise, add grain lines, remove grain lines, increase curvature, reduce it. All of this can be controlled through on-screen controls. What else do we have? We've got diver. You want a diver effect? You've got a diver effect. More levels, less levels. You can even do color. It's all there for you. So I've got lots of different effects. Now the other part of this is color grading. So these are still filters, but they're specific for color. So let's have a look at something like selective. So we've got this new interesting color wheel. I'm not a color grader myself, so I've kind of went with, as a non-color grader, what makes sense. But also I did do some research too. So if this works or doesn't work, let me know. This is all sort of new and completely brand new to Final Cut Pro in general. So let's have a look at what this does. So I can now use this little picker. Let's say I want to pick those green leaves. I can press M to show up the map just to show me what I've selected. And I can move this and make the trees orange. And if you open up Mini Viewer, you can actually zoom in. And the vector scope changes to show you what color you're looking at. So you can get a lot more details as well. Again, there's just so much to cover. I won't be able to cover it all in this video, hence why I'm speaking so fast as well. What else do I have? So they're filters along with color grading. So we looked at a few of the layout ones, such as Frame and Magic Move. There's also Grid. For example, you can move what cell you want it to be in and have multiple videos. When using it like this, you'll just want to have your clips stacked, and each one will have Mirage, and you just specify what cell you want it to be in. The other thing we have is transition. So let me drag on a transition Mirage. So this is a transition Mirage. So let's have a look at what this is. So for example, let's say I want this defocus blur maybe. Let's download that and put it on and let's see what happens. Let's just shrink that adjustment layer. There we go. We've got a beautiful transition, all with shader code. Now, what does this mean for you guys as users? You know, like whatever, I'm talking about code this, code that. There's a lot of different things I'm mentioning. So what it lets you do is, for example, this glass effect that I added, this shatter. This was not me who created this. This was actually Kai, and Kai is keyframeless AI. So in here, you can ask it to do a lot of stuff I've been demoing and debugging. So for example, let's say I want to do let me switch to Claude model or ChatGPT, toon shade filter. Let's see what it does. Let's ask it. It should hopefully, fingers crossed, write our shader and then make us a toon shader filter. So this particular one, you know, he failed. I don't know what he did or why he did that, but let's try out Claude. Do I have any Claude credits? There we go. So Claude done a much better job. And right, you can start making your own templates. You can save them, you can reuse them. So you can make your own plugins, right? So let's say I want to do I don't know, a basic fisheye effect with on-screen controls. Let's just see what Claude comes up with. Okay, let's try this again. I've got Claude Chapter trying to fix it. So let's have a look. There we go. So took a bit of effort. I think the whole point of this is to refine it as we go with time, so finding issues. So there we go, we've got a fisheye effect for free, all created by AI. Literally within a few minutes, I've got this amazing effect that I can just use. Look at that. Now, where are you going to find this? Are you going to try and make this in motion? You can try. Are you going to try and buy a template? You can try. But here, you just go to Mirage, you get the AI to write you some code, that whatever shader you want. And by shader, I just mean effect, whether that's a filter, whether that's a generator. Just get it to write you something and try it out. And you've got on-screen controls. You've got this ring that I've added, all these different on-screen things that you can do and effects. And as with all my plugins, you can even add them to animation. So for example, say you want it to animate in over our usual timing.
Pre-dropped and they added support for subtitles.
You can. So it all integrates back into the engine as long as your shader allows that. I've also added expressions. I don't want to go too crazy with those, but for example, let's say I want it to zoom in as distortion is ramping up. So let's have a look. Right click, expression. Let's press add. So again, we're working within the limits of Final Cut Pro. So in this case, this is going to show me all my clips that have had shader and that have published their parameters basically. Anyway, that's a bit too detailed. So let's have a look at, we've called it plasma. That's why it's showing up as plasma. We haven't renamed the shader. So let's say distortion. So here we go. So as it gets distorted, it should zoom in. So we've got expression. I have not had to do any keyframing for this. So now you can start interacting plugins with each other and create really cool effects with minimal effort. So as it distorts,
and they added support for subtitles.
It zooms in a lot. Oh, there's just so much to cover, I don't even know where to start. So back in Keyframeless X, drag in my project. So we've got Steno from before, and now we've got Sonar. So Sonar, let's say I've got my dialogue. I'm going to deselect my audio, my music that I've got in this video. And you can see there's spectrogram as well. So I'm going to press publish. So in here, you're going to see this demo 1. You can rename it if you want to something else. I'm going to keep it as demo 1. In here, I'm actually going to get rid of this distortion from the fisheye. I'm going to find a brand new one like bars. In here, we're going to go to audio. So there's some audio templates in there like bars, concentric circles, circular spectrum. So if they have an audio tab, you just select whatever you just published. In my case, demo 1. Let's close out of this with escape.
FCP 12.3 dropped and
so let me mute this.
FCP 12.3 dropped and they added support.
So now you've got these effects and you can stack them. So there's this rack, you can press plus and you can start stacking them. So let's say I want to layer a filter on top of that, maybe grid lines. And then I want to stack on top of that. What shall we do? I don't know, diver. So let's say I stack these things, and that looks pretty cool.
FTP 12.3 dropped, and they added support.
There you go. So you've got this really cool effects. And if you want to switch it out, I can click on bars. I can head back to another one of my audio ones like Circular Spectrum. Go to the start. I think we need to reselect the audio to demo 1, whatever we published.
FTP 12.3.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So now we've got audio reactive shaders as well. And obviously, as per usual, on-screen controls, you can rotate it. All super easy. There's just so much going on. Like I say, I really need to focus some time on recording tutorials for the keyframing, for Mirage, for Canvas. People have been asking, and I've been slacking in that department, so I do apologize. I've just been kind of innovating and stuck in my innovation way. So I'm going to be releasing a lot more videos of more targeted on how to draw an arrow, how to use the keyframeless timing engine, all these different things that I think are really useful and need more documentation. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. I know it's been a while since my last video, my last release, but we made it and it's a good one.